I think you need to put it in the context of the 2 quarters together, because there's a lot of noise in the system at the moment. So if you chuck March quarter and June quarter together, you've got an economy that's roughly growing at 0.5% a quarter, which in this environment is actually not that bad at all.
And December was revised up as well, so I mean,
yeah,
we've probably had a good few 3 quarters, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you've got roughly 1.5% expansion over the last 9 months. There'd be very few countries in the Western world that could claim to have achieved that.
There's good news coming in on the agriculture front. Can that strength remain, do you think? 'Cause we've had a few price falls on the Fonterra options.
Yeah, I think that we're probably close to the peak in the commodity cycle. And you're already seeing a supply response from the likes of the United States as commodity prices make production a little bit more attractive. So I think that we've probably seen the peak, but medium term, I still think that the agriculture sector looks very, very good, and both pricing and volume wise.
And should we read anything into the slight fall in manufacturing activity?
It comes after a couple of reasonably robust quarters, so there was nothing in it as far as we were concerned. Manufacturing still looks reasonably robust. The PMI survey continues to be up at well over the 50 mark, and so we think manufacturing will still keep ticking along.
And services industries showed strength, which was expected. I mean, it's not the kind of economy we want, though.
Well, I think the dominant feature in this particular release is the fact that the primary sector and the terms of trade continue to support the economy. So the service sector coming in behind that's okay. It is interesting to note that real estate and business services was the area which probably grew the most strongly in the economy. To the extent that that represents some activity around Christchurch, then it's probably neither here nor there, but my suspicion is it's actually starting to represent a genuine pickup in the housing market.
Right, and going into September and December quarters, we've got the World Cup obviously to boost figures, so could be a good end to the year.
Yeah, we're looking at roughly 1% per quarter.
Right.
For the last 2 quarters, largely as a consequence of the Rugby World Cup. So you're going to see this sort of spike up, I guess, and then 2 quarters after that will be quite weak, and then it'll pick up again through 2012 as all this building activity
so
gets underway.
That strength, we've got the underlying sort of base for strength through 2012, you think?
Yeah, in a relative sense. I mean, we're still only looking at growth of around 3.5% across 2012, which, considering what's happening in terms of the Christchurch rebuild and construction elsewhere, is quite a modest rate of expansion. But it still looks a damn sight better than most of the Western world.
Yeah, we're not the Europe and EU, are we? The US.
No.
Yeah.
I think people forget that. I mean, as difficult as it might seem here, it's just nothing compared to what's going on around the rest of the developed world.